You want to know how to kill the Texas hostiles? The best way to do that would be to show you probably on my other account. Because you can kill them with the regular crews, regular ships. Forget how I ended up doing it last time. Eric the Red, you got 1.2 million at level 42 for yours. You probably are on an older server then, because obviously server age is one of the determining factors in how rewards are paid out. Older servers get more rewards, which is always a popular topic. Leslie Moreau and Kirk with Tom Paris below deck. That might be interesting. Haven't tried that. I don't have Leslie, so I haven't tried that one out yet. Janeway Torres Kirk, I think, is what I used on my Enterprise. I think that's the crew I was using. You could just spend $100 on the Mona. It's always an option. Although people get mad at you if you do that, apparently. Well, if you're doing the solo Armada, that's different. The solo Armadas, you know, that's a completely different thing. You're just going to take your 3 best ships like you normally would any solo Armada. Start with the lowest level ones and see how it goes. If you're going to actually try and kill the hostiles and you don't have a G4 ship, the Enterprise is better than the Augur or the D4 because of the shield regeneration. All right, well, let's leave him parked there for a minute, and let's do this. Yeah, and then obviously, depending on what ships and stuff you have available, what your ops level is, what level of armadas you're trying to punch up to, then you really start getting into, just like all the regular solo armadas, right? You got to start mixing up your crews and things like that and putting the right stuff together. But I do need to kill 1 or 2 on this account over here. Oh, what's this? Anything good? Oh, the Stewie and just put together a new version of the battle log tool. I know they just released a new officer tool this morning. Yep. So I guess that's what he's been doing all day, because he got the officer tool done this morning, and now he's got the new battle log tool updated and in there as well. Okay. All right. So, if I remember correctly, how I was doing this. I took the Enterprise. We got Hugh below decks. I've got those guys there. I took Janeway with Torres. And because it is the Enterprise, I need Kirk. Extra mitigation, extra damage. She triggers based off of attack. So what if we do this to try and boost my attack as much as possible? If you are going to do this, I do recommend taking your Discovery along for the ride. Now, again, if you are the appropriate ops levels, if you have a 42 uncommon, certainly use one of those ships and have, or higher, and have much better success. If you're still in that 38 to 42 range, or 41, 42, you don't have the ship yet, and you are trying to get one of these things killed. This is how I was able to do it. You're essentially going to have to double tap it or hit the same hostile twice, which is why you need your discovery to summon back pretty quickly. Bear in mind that killing one of these things is going to drop your defensive shields, so keep that in mind as well. All right, let's send you. And then we're going to send you. You'll get there first. You'll have time to repair. Yeah. Any reason to actually kill them? Only for the event today would be the only reason. You don't get the refinery options until you actually have the ship, but there is an SLB right here that's powered by Dragon's Blood, which you do get points for actually killing them. You get 1 point per kill. You can kill the sentries, which are the ones that attack you. Doesn't drop your defense shield. But if you can kill them, if you don't, they go away. If you have to hit something twice, which is what I have to do to kill anything, you're going to have to pick the regular hostiles instead. Looking at my bracket right now, there's only 10 people who have done anything on it. So just by killing one hostile, I'm going to get myself on the board and put myself into this bracket right here. This is the 11 through 25 bracket, which is going to give me a decent little chunk of resources just for killing one hostile. But in terms of overall gameplay and things like that, if you don't have the ship, you can kind of just skip this stuff. Unless you're one of those people who likes to stock up on materials so that way you can hit the ground running if and when you do get the ship. But you're probably better off holding off at least a couple of months on that, just until you see how long it's going to take you to get said ship. Because they did announce that the acquisition of Monavine blueprints will come through the new territory capture changes that they are making. Whether that'll be the only sourcing for it or whether it'll be somewhere else, they didn't say that. They just said that changes to territory capture will include sourcing for Monavine blueprints. So much like the jellyfish, yeah, it'll be included in there. But they didn't say that'll be the only way. But we're going to look at that announcement in a couple minutes. Kind of go through it bit by bit. Hercules, thank you very much for the follow just a few minutes ago. We hit our follower. Oh, somebody unsubscribed. Okay. Well, we're right there at our followers goal. I'm just going to go ahead and move it now. I would like to start new goal. We're just going to move this to 800. So bam, we hit our September goal. Let's get a head start on October's goal. What other events do I have to do today still? Well, I can try for this one. Do I have anybody with those skills? Not really. I didn't actually start on mud yet on this account, so never mind. We got those dailies done. I think I got the rest of my... Oh, I didn't do my Q's trials over here yet. Okay. We can work on those. Oh, I didn't do my swarms either. That's the other thing that I hadn't done yet. Okay. So we'll work on that in just a minute. But yeah, when I was doing some testing with this, the fights with the auger were going about 10 to 12 rounds, and I was dying, and I was getting only about 20 or 25% of the hull health down with using the Enterprise, even though I'm doing slightly less damage with this particular setup. The fight was going about 30 rounds, and I may have done a little bit of research or stuff between then, so maybe it'll go a little better. And I was getting like 60 to 65% of the health down. Yeah, Swarm is for the Princess Quest today, so depending, hopefully people, have at least a reasonable costed Franklin A. All right, so we're gonna find one. And so just over here, just hanging out by himself. See if there's any that are actually already injured. You don't want to do it to sentries because if you die, the sentry just goes away. So we're going to go after this guy. Yes, I know it's going to drop my shield. We got it about 2/3 of the way down, maybe like 60%. Okay. We're going to do a quick repair. And here comes my discovery, right on schedule. Summon you back. Bam. There's the one. Let's go ahead and kill that guy. And you can get on out of here back to base. And kapla. We won. That got me 1 kill. That'll get me on the leaderboard. So if we go look at the battle log on this, Janeway, Torres with Kirk on the Enterprise. Obviously, the better your Enterprise, the better your fight's going to be. I think mine's only tier 6. Fight went 30 rounds. You've got Paris giving you some extra mitigation. So I'm mitigating 71%, right where I should be. That's just about max mitigation there. I think it's 71.9. I think I'm at 71.1, so really close to max mitigation right there. A lot more damage going to the shields. Janeway dumping more damage into the shields. You notice the amount of hull damage I'm taking from the first hit was 27, 35,000. Now Janeway's putting more into the shields, which is decreasing the amount of hull damage that I'm getting. And then the Enterprise's shipability, because I've got morale, is regenerating those shields. So basically lets you stay alive longer. And then when you get hit, B'Elanna's improving your accuracy and shield piercing. So here I am shooting them. You'll notice the first shot here, they mitigate about 2/3. Almost exactly 2/3, about 66% is what they're mitigating. The better your B'Elanna Torres, the better this number will be. And as you'll see here, the second set of shots goes a bit better. Dropping that from about 65, 66% down to about 52%. So there's a 14% adjustment to the amount of damage that gets mitigated. So that means more of it's getting through to the shields and then eventually to the hull. If your Enterprise, if my Enterprise was maybe maxed out or something like that, or I had Torres higher, some combination of the better of these officers, maybe if Janeway was a tier or 2 higher, I could probably take them down with the Enterprise, probably not with the Augur or the D4. But this ship still needs a little bit of work to do. Still a few researches and stuff. I had primarily been doing battleship research because I had the Augur first. So there are some explorer researches that I do need to catch up on. But that would be the free-to-play or the low-level player's way to accomplish this. I think the easiest way it would be to use an Enterprise to do it if you have one. If you don't and you have to use one of the other ships, just keep using your disco and summoning it back and hitting the same Texas class regular hostile should do it. Let's go ahead and throw up a shield again. Make sure to do that too. Don't forget to re-shield after you're done fighting these guys. So. Low spend equals cheap to play. I mean, whatever, Benny Hill's Ghost. If you can be 100%, this account's 100% free to play. Um, some people like to spend and just get battle passes. Some people don't like to spend anything. Some people spend more than others. Some people don't mind committing several hundred or several $1,000s a month to upgrading their accounts. But if you're trying to do it and you're having struggles, that would be a possibility for you. If you don't have those officers, Strange New World Pike, you can use him as captain to also try and put more of the damage into the shields. He helps out a little bit there. In that case, then you probably want to take Marcus as your second officer if you don't have, because if you're using Pike, all the other officers are all mitigation based and none of them are really going to help because you're not on the right type of ship and attacking the right type of hostile. So you might want to try Strange New World Pike as captain with Marcus as your side guy, and then Kirk. Because Marcus will he'll improve your shield penetration, which will lower their mitigation. And depending on the tier of your Marcus and how you can stack stats, in some instances he may work better than B'Elanna Torres, depending on where you've got him tiered at. So, what about full Voyager crew with Janeway as captain? Well, then you don't get the shield regeneration unless you've got Harry Kim high enough that you can rely on him to trigger the morale from below decks to give you enough regeneration. If your Harry Kim is good enough, most people didn't invest really into Harry Kim. Some people didn't even unlock Harry Kim. If you invested in your Harry Kim and he's like tier 3 or higher, and you're getting at least 30% of a chance toward morale, you can try it. But realistically, if he's not at least tier 4, you're probably not getting morale very often. And then you're going to have some problems. Because now you're not getting the shield regeneration. Does anybody in the chat have a tier 4 Harry Kim? I'm just curious. I don't think people were that big on getting him as a below deck morale officer. I think everybody was more focused on B'Elanna for the hull breach. I feel like a lot of people probably, got him through the events. Maybe you've gotten some lucky pulls out of the artifact refinery since then. You took Tom Paris for the extra mitigation. That's also something that I did hear some people talking about too. But I think my Harry Kim is tier 1, maybe tier 2. I didn't even level Harry Kim up. Yeah, he's just tier 1. So we're talking about a 10% chance of giving me morale? Yeah. No thank you. Your Harry Kim is tier 3, then you could certainly give that a shot with him below deck. See if that'll trigger for you. It's only a 30% chance, so realistically, once every 4 rounds or so, he's probably going to go off, which will give you some shield regeneration. I just don't think it's going to be consistent enough to keep up with the loop. I think you have to really, unless he's like tier 4 and you can expect it to happen at, every other round or so, I don't think you can pull it off with a full Voyager crew.